Hi everyone, this is William from the Headphone Experience. First of all, I'd like to apologize to my listeners because about a week and a half ago I put out a first impressions video of the new Kennerton Valley, and I promised a first impressions of the new Odin a few days later, and it's been about a week and a half, and I didn't get to it because I was really sick. I had a high fever and couldn't get out of bed for about 5 days. And in fact, I lost about 11 pounds in 1 week. So this thing really kicked my butt. But anyway, feeling a little better now. Still have a little bit of a cough, so excuse me if I cough once or twice during this video. I'll try not to. Anyway, I'm here tonight with the new Kennerton Odin. This is actually not a new headphone, it's a new version of the original Odin. And I guess this was a pretty popular headphone, and Kennerton brought it back with a new headband and a lighter weight and a lower price. So anyway, the new Odin is, this one is currently sells for $2,064, and like all Kennerton headphones, they're made in St. Petersburg, Russia. This is a full-size over-the-ear open back design, and it has an 80 millimeter planar magnetic driver. This headphone has an impedance of 40 ohms and a sensitivity of 104 decibels at 1 milliwatt. So this is actually a very easy headphone to drive for a planar magnetic design. This headphone, according to Kennerton, weighs in at between 620 grams and 658 grams, depending on the type of wood. And this one, which is made of paddock, which is a very red color, weighs in on my kitchen scale at 643 grams. It is a pretty heavy headphone. I think the only headphone I've reviewed so far that weighed in heavier than this would be the Tish Phobos, which weighed in at almost 700 grams. But anyway, I'll talk about the weight and the comfort in a minute. Like I said, the ear cups are made of paddock, and it is a solid piece of wood. This is not a veneer. The ear pads and the head strap are made of real lambskin leather, and the grills are made of aluminum. These come with a 2 millimeter cable, or I'm sorry, a 2 meter cable. It has 4-pin mini XLR connections at the headphone end, and it uses a standard 1/4 inch or 6.3 millimeter plug at the amp end. And like I said, it is 2 meters long. Very nice material, soft, but yet it's flexible. And this headphone also comes with a carry case, and the headphones slip in and out of it real nice. And also has this adapter, which is pretty substantial. It's made of metal, and this adapts from the 6.3 millimeter down to 3.5 millimeters for your amp end. Compared to the original Odin, my understanding is that the ear cups, the drivers, everything, and that part of the headphone are still the same. The difference would be the headband. The original Odin used a headband, and I don't have an original Odin here, but I do have the Thror, and the Thror has the same type of headband that the original Odin has, where you had the aluminum yokes and you have the screw type adjuster, which adjusts both your height and revolves so you can adjust the front to back pressure on these. I actually really like this design, but it is a little bit heavier, and also it takes a while to get it adjusted to fit your head and get it just right. I mean, you've got to adjust your height and rotate the cups at the same time, Once you get it, it stays there forever. It's perfect, but if you want to share the headphone, it's not the most convenient because it takes a while. Someone unadjusts it and sets it to their head, then now you've got to redo it. The two advantages to the new headband is, number one, it is self-adjusting. And basically you just put it on and it adjusts right to your head and you're done. And if you share this headphone, it doesn't matter because, I mean, you know, it's going to adjust to whoever wears it within a matter of seconds. The other advantage is it is a bit lighter, so it does cut the weight of the headphone. As far as build quality, like all Kennerton headphones, I've reviewed several of them now. The build quality is absolutely outstanding. I mean, the just flawless. And in my opinion, Kennerton still makes some of the best looking headphones I've seen from any manufacturer or at any price. I just really like the way they look. And in fact, I really like the grille design on this. It kind of looks like a jet engine to me. So I don't know, I just think it's cool. It's different than the Thrower design of the grille. I actually think I like the Odin design better. But anyway, as far as fit and comfort, like I said, these things pretty much instantly adjust to your head. That's it. You put them on, they're adjusted correctly. They are a little bit heavy, but, and I've said this before, heavy headphones don't really bother me. So I actually find these extremely comfortable. The ear pads are very soft, they're large, that spreads the weight out. The headband does a good job of distributing the weight, and I have no comfort issues with this at all. I think it's an extremely comfortable headphone, and the weight doesn't bother me at all, but you know, some people are more sensitive to the weight of a headphone than others are. So anyway, that's a decision you'll have to make. Getting into the sound, yeah, I've had these for like 3 weeks, but I was sick for 9 days out of that time and was working in other parts. So I don't have a whole lot of time in on these yet, but I think I have enough time to give, you know, a basic opinion of it. And then, you know, of course, like I always do, I'll try to give a more in-depth video of the sound quality in, you know, a few weeks, 2-3 weeks after I get some more listening time in. Anyway, I would say the tone balance is, in my opinion, just about neutral. The only place I would say there's a little bit of emphasis would be in the mid-bass into the lower into the sub-bass. Maybe a slight emphasis, about maybe 3 decibels maybe. You know, not a large emphasis, just slightly bassy of neutral, I would say. As far as the bass itself, I would describe the bass as deep. I would describe it as solid, and I would describe it as very well controlled. Not boomy, not loose, not muddy, you know, just very tight and clean bass. The mids, I would say just slightly on the warm side of neutral. Just very pleasant, very pleasant mids, and I would say very smooth is the way I describe the mids on this. Voices are just so smooth, just no grain, no harshness anywhere. The treble, I would say, is well extended. It goes high. It's very clean. It's very crisp. It's very, it has a good sparkle to it. Yet, once again, I would describe it as smooth. I don't find it harsh at all or fatiguing at all. So, then getting into detail and resolution, I would say the detail and resolution is outstanding on this headphone. One of the best that I've heard. I would say it probably ranks up there with it's very close to the Kennerton Thrower, their flagship. I'd say it ranks right up there with the Urzetish Phobos, which I described as very detailed. And I would say it's up there with like the Hi-Fi Man Aria, which is another headphone I really like. And actually, though, I can't compare the two directly. I don't have the Aria here right now. But I would say that this is probably a little smoother in the mid-range, a little cleaner than the Aria, actually, from what I remember. The imaging, I would say, is very precise. The sound stage is very, very large, very wide, similar to the Thror. I would say matches in width with the Aria and also with the Urzetish Phobos. Very, very wide sound stage. I'm not sure yet if it has as much depth as the Thror does. The Thror has incredible depth and layering to the soundstage, and I haven't spent enough time with this one yet to really decide that. And I'll try to, concentrate on that a little bit and see if this does have that depth that the Thror does in the next few weeks before I do my next video. I would say the headphone that this sounds the most like that I've listened to so far is, I would say this actually sounds very similar to the Urzetish Phobos. That's their flagship headphone. I think it sells for about $22.50, so we're in a very similar price range. I have to say, though, I think the Kennerton, I like the design better and I like the build quality better. But the Phobos is a headphone I really, really like the way it sounded. And I don't have it here right now. That was a loaner that I had to send back, so I can't compare them directly. But from what I remember, the Phobos sounded a whole lot like the Kennerton Thror. I was able to compare the two directly. And except the Phobos was had a little bit more weight to the bass than the Thror did. And that's where this headphone is. Compared to the Thror, it has a little bit more weight to the bass, and I welcome that because that was my one small issue with the Thror. I love the Thror, but I thought it could use slightly more bass, and both the Phobos and this headphone sound very similar to the Thror, but both have a little bit more bass. So, and then, like I said, compared to the Thror, this does have a very similar sound. I'm not sure yet if it has quite that three-dimensional layered depth to it that the Thror does, and I'll try to look into that a little further in the next few weeks. But very similar otherwise. Just extremely detailed. The Thror I would consider almost analytical. I'm not sure if this is quite to that point. Maybe not quite the hyper detail of the Thror, but close. Very, very detailed though. Then another headphone I think this sounds pretty similar to is the Kennerton Magni, which is a closed back. And I really, really love the Magni. I think it's one of the best headphones I've heard at any price, even though it only sells for, I think, $760 or $70. But my one complaint about the Magni is because of being a closed back, it does have a small sound stage. And this, in my opinion, sounds very similar to it, but just a little bit better in every way, and it has quite a bit of larger sound stage. Where the Magni, the sound stage is in pretty close, this has a very wide sound stage. So, I guess all I can really say about this headphone is I'm really enjoying it so far. I would describe it as exceptionally well balanced. So far, I have found no weakness in the sound of this headphone. Very good extension at both ends in the bass and treble, exceptional detail, huge sound stage. Just everything about it is I'd like. I have found nothing about this headphone so far that I don't like about the sound. The only weakness this headphone has, in my opinion, and that's going to depend person to person, is it's a bit on the heavy side. So if a heavy headphone isn't an issue to you, then this might be the perfect headphone for you. I'm not sure, but You know, I'm going to spend some time with this and try to get a little more detailed, and you know, maybe my opinion will change a little bit over the next couple of weeks. Who knows? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But so far, it just seems like this headphone works with just about any kind of music, and very detailed, but yet forgiving. You know, not analytical to the point where it's going to show every flaw in the recording. So, like I said, so far, very happy with this, and I'll get back to you in 2 or 3 weeks with a more detailed description of the sound. And until then, I guess I'm going to wrap this up. So once again, this is William from the Headphone Experience. And if this video helped you, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you are all welcome to join us over at the Headphone Experience on Facebook. Thank you.